G'day all, welcome back to the show for men. I'm your host, G-Man, and certified life coach. All right, I had to throw that in there. All right, so today we're watching a video by Gen Z called The Hidden Cost of Casual Dating. I want to give you my take on it. A few guys have asked me about the pros and cons of monster hunting, so I'm going to talk about those today. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there who may also have been a Steve-O or Brycey at some point in your life would probably resonate with this. And for you guys who don't have the opportunity to go and do all these sorts of things, can be a bit of information for you.
I've made it no secret that I've done my fair share of casual dating over the last year or so. I moved to Chicago as a newly single man, and for the first time in a couple of years, I was taking advantage of the bar scene, taking advantage of the dating apps, and honestly having a great time meeting lots of new women and going on lots of new dates. Now,
it's like a bit of a, what's the word? Like a fake high value man. Okay, that's how he comes across. I'm not saying he is. This is how he comes across. He'll be able to be super suave, full chat and Brycey. He's got the UK, so I don't know what a UK Dino maybe. He's a Dino over there. He's just slaying birds, but he's he's got that way about him. Hey, I'm from Cambridge, and I'm from a wealthy family, and he looks like he's out of the movie The Kingsman, something like that. And those chicks over there in America, they'll be frothing for Prince Harry here. Oh, I'll be another Meghan Markle.
From that experience, I've learned a lot about what I'm looking for in a potential partner, and also exactly how to play the game of modern romance. But I've also discovered there is a huge hidden cost to this method of casual dating. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about in today's video.
Oh, wow, hidden cost. It's not very hidden at all. Well, these are blatant. These are blatant when it comes to finances, but there are other costs which we'll talk through. Finances. That's why I'd say to you guys, just coffees. Don't go on all these dinner dates and shit like that because it doesn't pay off. Okay, these women are trying to get you to pay for them to have an outing with, in most cases, they've already made their mind up, either if they like you or not. So why take the chance that they don't like you enough to see you again? Because they'll do it when they're bored. Or you go and you'll sit down. This is why I say don't do dinner dates. You'll go and you'll sit down. You'll be having a good time. She might be into you. Then she'll get you talking. And you'll say something inadvertently that she does not like or agree with. Game over. Leg shut. Never seen you again. Going to wipe you off the face of the earth because you didn't tick all 100 criteria and say everything perfectly. So you're not her person. But yeah, thanks for dinner. Thanks for the $200 dinner that you wouldn't have done originally. All right. Creating a generation of gentlemen.
Hello, my name is...
We don't like to be gentlemen over here. I want to talk about... I know I'm going to rant today. People say to me, oh, let the guy talk and let the video talk. Guys, I'm not here to play other people's videos in full without talking. That's not the point. I'll be taken down for copyright infringement instantly. I use these people, some of them for talking points, so we can relate to them, to spur conversation. That's what it is. If you want to watch this without me stopping it, as I always say, jump in the video description. It is there. All right? We've got a lot of new viewers coming in. Don't understand that the whole point of this channel is conversation, and we're using talking points. It isn't playing someone else's content and ripping them off.
James, and I'm on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen.
He's on a mission, boys.
So, what exactly is
empty
the hidden
cup.
cost of casual dating? Well, there are costs on numerous fronts.
Let's tell us.
First, let's talk about the time investment. Yeah. Let me first say this. For a while, I believed that because I'm a very busy man, I run my own business, I am completely independent in terms of the way that I manage my money and the way that I manage my time. I didn't have time for a serious relationship. I didn't have
Who watches this and go, yeah, this guy is so high value, he's just look at his tie. I'm such a busy man with Google open on the screen, nothing else happening, and looking at my tie thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to spend so much time picking this.
Time to meet the one and to be in a committed relationship or marriage.
Awesome.
But what I've realized is that actually Casual dating is way more time consuming. And there are a few different reasons why. Firstly, there is the literal time spent. If you are dating multiple women at once, or you're dating one woman after the other, you are spending hours and hours going on first dates. And depending on how many dates you do, this could be as little as 2 to 3 hours, could even be up to 12 and 15 hours a week. Now imagine if you just spent that amount of quality, focused romantic time with one person. Not only would you not need as much time to get the same levels of fulfillment and to give the same levels of love, but you'd also be so much more fulfilled and happy with the time that you did spend with that one person. As well as time invested though, you have to look at the return that you're getting on that time invested. Casual dating can feel like playing a game of snakes and ladders. Maybe you remember that game when you were a kid, and you start making progress throughout the board. You go on the second date, the third date, and then you realize that she's not what you're looking for, or she decides you're not what she is looking for, and you're back to square one and you're going on a first date, or you're in the talking stage with somebody else. Then maybe you go on a first date with them, not the match. Okay, we're down the ladder, back to square one. Or down the snake, I suppose it was. I don't remember the game, but I think you get the point. Whereas within a committed relationship, you are constantly progressing, and every...
Are you? Is this guy selling the dream or what? Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about what he's saying, trying to sell relationship advice to plugged-in guys. You don't realise they're most likely 95% of the time signing up to an absolutely horrible deal. But hey, let's just romanticise how great relationships are. All right, let's talk about time investment. So a Steve-O, Brycey, he's just born this way, okay? He will be hyper-focused on trying to pick up chicks. So that's his hobby. So when he's not working, or even if he is working, he'll flip open the phone and have a look. But when he's not working, generally he's going to spend his time on multiple dating apps, swiping, trying to tune up chicks, going for the nuclear warhead approach, as I always say, get to know quick. But he's doing it on several different platforms to spread the net wide, so to speak, to try and get as many leads generation as possible. Now, this is very fun for a Steve-O Brycey because they do get success. Now, it isn't as much as what people would think, but now let's just say you get a 10% hit rate with the chicks that you match that you could potentially mate up with. And then from there, if you're smooth, you know what you're doing, you could probably, if you play your cards right, end that with some action. Maybe not on the first date most of the time. Second date is pretty common, okay? So, how much time would you spend? Well, hours. He's saying 15 hours a week. That'll be a slow week. It is. It's a literal, it's a grind. And as I said, these guys are built differently. It is fun. They're the sort of A-type personalities that are going to just hyper-focus on something and grind, and grind out the results. More time in, more result. It's a huge waste of time. Now, I'll talk about it in terms of looking back in retrospect. My whole life I spent in between long-term relationships. I spent all the time on the dating apps, chat services, dating websites, all that sort of stuff. Because for me, I had a great time doing it. It was a lot of fun. You're sitting at home. You're creating something out of nothing. All right, something out of nothing. You have nothing on, and you get on there and you tune up chicks and you create an adventure. But if I also look back about how many hours I've spent, probably over 15 years or more, thousands, just doing that, let alone meeting up and going through the grinder of potential first dates that don't go anywhere, wasted time, wasted money, all that sort of stuff. Thousands of hours. Now, I've had people say to me, do you fully regret it? No, because you get a lot of education. You'll see a lot of things and join a lot of dots about women that the average bloke just does not understand, does not comprehend, because the average dude might have a couple of girlfriends his whole life and get some sporadic dates here and there. If you're doing this every day, 2-3 times a week even, meeting up with random chicks, you see all the same things over and over again, you learn the behaviours. It's Skynet, it's pattern recognition. So it's a time sink, but I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys today with a wealth of experience if I didn't do that. So was it a waste? No. Could I have spent the time better, maybe studying or something like that? Yeah, look, if you look at it like that, but back then, I didn't want to study. I wanted to pick up chicks and bang them. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's listen to Prince
Moments
Charles.
of quality time that you spend with her, every date you go on, it only strengthens your relationship. So that's the time side of things covered. Now let's talk about the costs, because I hate to look in the mirror and say this, but I have to admit, I've spent thousands of dollars over the last 6 months alone going on dates with women that I knew from the get-go did not have the potential to be a long-term partner for me.
Desperate. See, even good-looking guys fall into this. He's well put together. Girls will like him. So he's going out thinking he's got to pay to play, doing those first dates. Mr. Suave here. Well, it's his persona anyway. Mr. Suave here wants to go out and spend money to wine and dine high-quality women. Why would you do that? Paying to pray just to meet up. That's why I say to you guys, don't do this thing. Don't do it. If they're pushing for it and they want you to go and do it, and you feel like you're going to lose the opportunity if you don't bend over backwards and go and do some date that they want to go, or something you don't even want to do, don't do it. It's fine. She's already disqualifying herself as someone who's going to be around. Someone who genuinely would like to meet you will meet you for a walk somewhere, meet you for a coffee and a walk somewhere. It's not about the money, okay, in terms of being a tight ass. It's about spending money for no reason, wasting that money, and furthermore, wasting it on women you know are literally scamming you for a night out or a couple of nights out, and rinse and repeat and move on to the next. That's it. This guy spent thousands. I haven't spent much money in the last 10 years probably, or 8 years since I've been out there doing it. It would always be coffees. I had one expensive girlfriend. I learnt my lesson. I knew what was going on, and I knew that if I stopped doing what I was doing, she probably wouldn't be with me anymore. But you know what? I was a young guy in my early 20s. She was an absolute smoke show, and I wanted to have some action. So I knew the game, and that was it. But I would not recommend doing that.
No, I'm not going to beat myself up over this. Did I have a great time? Did I have a good experience? Did I spend lots of money on myself in the process? Yes, I did. But when I think about my future goals, where would I be now if I had taken that money instead and put it towards the future or toward investing in myself? And honestly, would I exchange those experiences for the money? Well, in some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Right? I had some wonderful times and made some wonderful memories with some lovely women. I've also made some not so wonderful memories with some women that were a little bit more so-so. But that is the game that we play. I will honestly say that all of the women I've dated this year have been absolutely wonderful. I've had a good time with all of them. They've all shown good levels of emotional, well, actually not all of them. Most of them have shown very good levels of emotional maturity, intelligence, depth, conversation, even superficial things like the way they dressed, the way
Who gives a stuff about any of that? Chad and Bryce, he doesn't care. I can tell you I certainly didn't care. When I was going through my just raging dark side of the Force, went full to the dark side, the Sith. I became a Sith master, right? I didn't care. I knew straight up, for the most part, I was always nice, treated them well, respectful, wasn't rude, and was quite honest. I would pepper in the truth implicitly in conversation about where this was going to go, but women don't want to listen. I knew for the most part I was not dating for intent to meet anybody, to have anything serious. Just came out of a nasty financial settlement and all that sort. Last thing I wanted to do. I just wanted to meet women, enjoy them for what it was. Even the company. It's not just about the action. The action's the the end game type thing. What happens as part of naturally going out with women. Nice women for company, but it's short term stuff. It's 1, 2, 3 months. It all fizzles out. It all blows up. Who cares about how sophisticated and shit they are? Once again, this guy's selling the dream. Sounds super plugged in. Thinks he's a playboy. This is not how a monster hunter thinks at all, guys. Okay.
Behaved were very, very feminine and very ladylike. So honestly, no regrets on that front. But I still knew in my heart of hearts.
All right, he's ranting on. So I'll go halfway. So we've talked about finances and time. The next couple are around the sort of the emotional. And I think it's a really good point as well, and I'll talk about that. All right. So, guys, if you're enjoying the content and you enjoy me going in different directions here and there and mixing it up, consider subbing to the channel. Let me know if you got videos you want me to talk about, something you've seen, something you'd like to see my comments on. Send them to my email address. I'd love to engage with you guys and give you the content that you all want. Also, comment, like, and all that stuff to get the channel out there and all that sort of stuff for the algo, all the sort of shit we have to say. I don't like asking, but it seems to work. All right, let's go.
And I do want to talk about the energy levels and the emotional investment that comes with casual dating. This is probably even worse for women than for men, and there is a scientific reason why. When women sleep with a partner, they release more bonding hormones than a man does, so it's understandable why they get more emotionally attached, and therefore it's understandable why they would be more likely to want to withhold sex until they feel a level of commitment from you. Although obviously lots of women today don't do that. But still, as a man, you think about her, right? Even when you're just dating casually, you're texting her, you're considering what to say next, where to go next, planning the dates. Probably the biggest drain for me though has just been
this is about the plugged-in guy who really wants to have a girlfriend. Okay, so this is the majority of dudes who wants to always be Mr. Romantic, Mr. Chivalrous, Mr. Gentleman. Okay, we don't do any of that. We don't really think about it too much. All right, we don't really think about trying to impress women too much. When I say we, I'm talking about monster hunters. You don't really care. It's take it or leave it. You're not having this fully groomed persona like this dude. I certainly didn't, and did quite well out of it. I didn't have to be a fake person. It was just blatantly myself, super direct. And look, I'll say honest. Yeah, she did a little bit of white lies, a little bit of maneuvering in terms of when you say what you're looking for and all that sort of shit. But who knows? It could be. If some Bryces and Steve-O's, they do find a girl that they really like after they've been with hundreds of them. So it could happen. Let's talk about the emotional. Okay, it isn't about energy spent thinking about doing shit, because we sort of Chad and Brycey guys, they're very selfish, and you only do things you want to do. You don't go and do things that you don't want to do, that women are trying to press you into doing. You just don't. You just don't entertain it. And if they don't want to meet for something simple, you just don't meet them. That's it. Plain and simple. Boom. Gone. Okay? The emotional, I'll talk about that. It can really scramble up your brain if you do it for a long time. Very similar to how these women get on the dating apps and their receptors and everything is completely fried. It's because you're getting flooded with dopamine all the time. It's fun. It's exciting. You're out on these missions. And so it makes it harder as well for you. If you actually want to try and have a girlfriend, it makes it very hard for you to make the right decisions, keep it in your pants, and stop always wanting to have chicks maybe on the side or juggling women, even if you've come across a really good one. Okay, so it stuffs your brain up. You'll also start being... depends. It really depends what your personality is like, but you could really go down to the dark side and being... have no empathy at all, really, for anyone's feelings or doing dodgy things, right? So lying, cutting them off at the knees as well, just like they do to men. Brycey and Chad, he does that all the time. He'll get what he wants if they arc up in any way. So if they push back and they start carrying on and create a bit of drama, you're gone. Block and delete, move on. You'll just get another one. Any sort of minor thing that'll be an inconvenience. If they don't go along with your program, you'll cut them off at the knees. Without really thinking about it, thinking about how that might affect that person. So it is part of the problem, because you screw their brains up, these women up, for the average guys out there, or the guys who actually want to have a girlfriend. You sort of do some damage there. So I do recognise that. So from emotional, I wouldn't say it's emotional, but I think it wrecks your psyche a little bit. You got women coming in and out of your life a lot, people coming in and out. I don't think people are really built for that. That's my honest opinion. You might like someone, be fond of them, but obviously you don't want to go and get married and move in and do things like that. And the women, they get a sniff of that and they'll just dump you. So you still got to deal with that stuff as well. You're not completely heartless. You might have a hard shell, but there's a lot of disappointment as well. So it's always for the short term, and so it is difficult, because I say to guys, most women out there are not, especially on the dating apps. So I'm not speaking about people who are not on them or people who've gotten together younger and shit like that. I know there are a lot of good relationships out there. I don't know about marriages, but relationships at least, they're good at the start. People having a good time and all that. On the dating apps, I'm going to say, guys, 95% of the chicks on there, they're not worth your time. They're complete and utter human garbage. Doesn't matter what they look like. They act very, very badly. Okay? I've been through hundreds of them, and I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you. I've been through hundreds of them, talked to tens of thousands of them over the years. Most of them are overly entitled, rude, completely selfish, delusional. I don't just say this stuff talking about TikToks and learning from TikTok. I'm telling you, I've been there and done it and heard all the things you see on the TikToks. I've heard it in person. I've seen it done. Women as well, guys. When I say it's the emotional, okay, there is an impact because you will start seeing things and joining dots together and you won't be able to look at women the same way again. So it will change your complete view on relationships, marriages, societal's idea that women are sugar and spice and all things nice and stuff like that. You will see women cheating with you when they're married and they've got boyfriends blatantly telling you about it, laughing about it, dating multiple guys, using guys up for foodie calls and telling you about it. Heard it all, seen it all, done it all. Completely dodgy, done a lot of things I wasn't proud of as well. I think that's also a bit of the emotional toll. You work out that, these women are sneaky. These women are sneaky. They go out and they get some guy. Easiest thing in the world for them. Get some guy for dating up to come and pump him in a car park somewhere, beach car park, cricket ground car park. That's why I talk about behind the cricket pavilion. That was one of the prime areas I would literally go to meet women at this particular area. And they would all come there and no problem. They're all about it. So you do things you're not proud of, all right? But you're hooked on the game. You're hooked on it, all right? So you lose a bit of a moral compass. And that's definitely something. But once again, guys, you become very, I'm trying to think of the word, hard. Yeah, very hard out of shell. Not many women are ever going to be able to break through it because you become what is labeled as emotionally unavailable or avoidant. Because once again, first-hand experience, seeing behind the mirror, seeing behind the veil, the mask of women and what society tells you about them, over and over and over again. They all say the same bullshit and lies. No accountability for where they are in life. Very good at marketing themselves, I've learned. Don't believe basically anything they tell you. Guys have this thing. They believe anything a woman says about their past, about ex-boyfriends, about ex-husbands. You bet your bottom dollar if they're bagging him out, they're just about lying about it in most cases. But guys, believe them. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of them. Anything they tell me, I completely disregard it. I don't tell them I disagree. I listen. I nod my head. But they're completely lying to you. Just worse than dudes. They are worse than a Chad and Brycey. They are bad. Okay? They all say they want something. They're looking...
The literal hours on the clock.
I know I'm ranting here, right? Because this guy, look, I don't think he's that much of a monster hunter, right? He's a guy who looks good and pays to take women out on dates. So... once again, guys, majority of them, they're not worth it. Put in the comments if you have also seen that. All right, let's move along. Let's quickly go to dating apps.
Am I using dating apps? Yes, I am. And the reason why is because dating apps do help you see from the get-go whether somebody may or may not be compatible with you. And personally, this may sound shallow, but I have a very clear physical type that I like. I know exactly what I like, actually. And it's always been that way ever since I was a little boy. So...
little boy, is it men? All right, anyway, I had to say it. Let's talk about let's just talk about Steve O'Bricey. He doesn't have a type. He might have a type, but he's happy to take whatever's coming. You don't knock it. You don't. What is it? Look a gift horse in the mouth. You take it if it's there, because it's all about racking up numbers. It's having fun, going on adventures. It's all same result at the end of the day. And it isn't about always picking up the hottest chick. I always talk about my main field, right? My main focus was women sort of around 5 to 7. No more than that, because they're just too much work. And look, a lot of the time when I did get some of those women and put the time in and all that, it just wasn't that worth it. It's just, at the end of the day, if your end goal is Company with a woman, and also action, 5 to 7s, relative to you, because every scale is different based on where you are. Your 5 is different to my 5. Okay? That's the way I see it. The more plain girl next door who's sort of happy to be there, not too damaged. It's pretty hard these days, but they're out there. That was my patch. And you got to work out your target market. You can spin your wheels trying to match with all these hot chicks. That's why I say don't bother. A complete waste of time. You spend all your time trying to hook up with all these hot chicks, and you can beat your head against the wall. Maybe get one a year or something like that. Who will be there maybe for a date, or maybe get some action if you're really lucky. It's not going anywhere. They are community property, and they cycle through way more men than a womanizer will get women. You just cannot compete with that. Just the market demand for that. So that's what I say. Average type women, go for them. Average isn't bad. Average is good. You don't want these glamour types. These ones with the Instagram profiles and the injections in their face and the eyebrows done and the eyelashes done and all that sort of thing. The best ones I ever met were in that bracket. I met some awesome people, and I've talked about this. I met some really great women, and there was probably about 3 or so of them that I look back now and go, you know what? I really stuffed up with that. But only 3 out of hundreds. So I don't know, do the maths on that. But I still remember them. I don't remember most of these other chicks. I don't even know their names. I can't remember them. I can barely remember their faces. I can't remember their faces. If you told me to write them down, I could probably write down 20. I can't remember them all. They're just, it's like having a glass of water. You don't think about it, how many glasses of water you've had a day or how many cigarettes you've had if you smoke. It's just you have them and you don't count. So only a few will stand out. I've also noticed as well that you find a bit of a diamond in the rough maybe once or twice a year where you go, hang on, this chick's she's a bit different. Because most of the other ones are completely the same. All right, don't care about this dude. Let's see what he's talking about here.
And when it comes to the dating process, I'm taking things a bit more slow and steady. We don't have to go for the extravagant dinners right away.
Yes.
Let's actually do something outdoors.
Yes.
I think it's partly my own laziness.
He's going for a solarium. Go to a solarium with him, dude.
That has been insistent on dinner dates all of the time, because it doesn't require any imagination from me. I don't need to think about what she may like, think about our shared interests. Dinner, everybody likes eating food, everybody likes restaurants. But maybe it would be fun actually to perhaps take...
I don't. Maybe preface that with women. Women like restaurants because they don't pay for things, and they like men to pay for things for them.
Boat tour down Chicago. Maybe it would be fun to play mini golf. Maybe it would be fun to go to a farmer's market, to go to a gallery or a museum. And then once a connection has been established, maybe then we go for a nice romantic dinner. Maybe then we even go for a weekend away.
No.
I'm not afraid to invest in the right person, but previously I've been throwing darts at a board with a blindfold on and leaking money out of both pockets in the process.
So basically, casual dating, this guy's had no luck. He's attractive. So this guy is doing it all wrong too. Guys, it's just coffees and walks. Do not go and spend money, weekends away and shit like that. Do you want to know why? It isn't just because you need to look after yourself financially and not waste it on women. The thing is, the bar keeps rising, gents. If you take them out for a weekend away and you've only been seeing them for 3 or 4 weeks, they're going to expect this shit all the time. Weekends away, bedding breakfast, go interstate somewhere and let's go out. It's every weekend. It has to be some sort of extravagant. Let's go to the wineries. Let's go out for a nice lunch. Hundreds of dollars later, all that time spent. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So that's why you don't do that shit. You set the bar very low, and if things work out and you do want to date them and they want to date you, yes, as a special treat, go and do something nice. Not every fucking date. First date. I can't stress this enough. Guy, you won't listen to me. Maybe you guys listening, but other guys just won't listen to me. They'll keep doing it. It's a social programming that you've got to lay out the red carpet like this dude. So He's not telling us anything new here. I want to give you my spin on it. I wouldn't say he's a womanizer. I would say he's a good-looking guy who's very much plugged in. He's also getting no results, and he is wasting all his money. Basically, the standard experience for any guy out there, regardless of their looks. All right, if you want to watch this guy's video, as I said, go watch it in the description. For those of you who don't like me carrying on and talking and all that, well, not sure if this is the channel for you. Just saying that, if you want to hear the guy bloody talk without me talking, things aren't changing. This is the way I do my videos. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day.